Okay. Hello, everybody. Um, I, I'll admit, I'm an overthinker. And you know what? I absolutely hate that term. I hate it when people say that. To me, especially, but just in general. Because I'm like, listen, is thinking not beneficial? Does thinking not help us figure things out? Did philosophers not think? Did mathematicians not think? So I just don't like it when it's like a proverbial insult. It's not always an insult, but I don't know. But do they have a point though? And yes, I'm going to think about it. Let's dissect this. Join me. Let's dissect this term, right? And when people say this, is it, hey man, just don't think. It's all good. Just be in the moment. Just be present. Or is it a judgment? And I'm sorry, if it's a judgment, I can't take it. I'm sorry, if it's a judgment, I'm like mortified and upset. And people don't even have to say it. It's even it's almost like it's like all feelings are valid, is it in that same camp of I feel like my feelings need to be validated. And if they're not, it's like you're overthinking, and so therefore it's a negative thing. And I'm sure there's definitely that overlap. Like when someone just doesn't agree with you, you express how you feel. Maybe the way I express myself in my head is different than maybe how it came out, and I didn't realize it. And it seemed to be more intense. Maybe it actually is. Or maybe it is the exact same, but the other person does not receive it or does not agree with it. And so you're left with that. Well, damn, now I just seem sort of so tightly wound and intense, and the other person rejects that, so I am left hanging, and I have to sit with this, And thinking back on what I had expressed, I'm like, to be honest, I agree with her, as in me. I'm like, I'm really trying to take a step back and be like, yeah, I get why at the end of a work day, if there's a bunch of people in the house, that you're going to complain about it a little bit and be like, what the heck, it's a Monday night. Instead of, being I don't know, just that it didn't seem to be reasonable, and I'm like, and then you take a step back of is this really reasonable or is it not, And to be honest, it's all up to you and what you think. I think for a long time, I would try to conform my acts and beliefs according to other people's. And because you want to be in that in-group, but there is such an uncomfortability of that sort of disagreement, of sharing something, not even so deeply emotional, but just kind of but it has to do with emotion. And then not being received or felt or heard. And even if they are a very caring person and you do love them, but it's just well, now I just feel icky even more so. I don't know. But is the lesson to think about my own judgment? What do I think? Not looking what other people think. Well, what do I actually think about what went down or how I responded or what I expressed? I think sometimes maybe I can be a little too intense in a way, but in a way that's also part of me. And that's also the thing of the sensitivity. And then it's girl, just stop. It's not that deep. And in a way, is it a permission to release yourself? these thoughts, emotions, and feelings, whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. It's just interesting. It's hard to reconcile maybe sometimes emotions and then wanting to express them reasonably, and then they're not taken as reasonable. And then so you feel like, oh, I've shared too much and now it's embarrassing. And should I just embrace basically the too much gene? Shout out Jenna Marbles. Even though I know she mentioned it. She utilized it in a different way, her too much gene. But maybe that's just how it is. And we're working on it, and I think we're working on a healthy expression. But people are going to be people. And you just be you. And I guess just work through the emotions as they come. But I'm not going to feel bad anymore, I think, for overthinking. I'm going to try not to as much and just kind of be in the flow. But at the same time, I'm not going to feel bad for just thinking things out. It's not that deep to think as well. Do you see what I'm saying? It is not, oh my God, you're thinking. It is too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. Food for thought, and I am figuring it out. And I think I want to have it resolved. I want to find a routine to resolve my thoughts, resolve things. I want things to be resolved and feel resolved. And I don't know how. I mean, I guess, you can meditate, but it still feels like you're not addressing the root of a thought. Why does this make me feel this way? Why do I need this validation? Why is it embarrassing? Because it is embarrassing. But I guess you just got to let it all hang out, honestly, and let the cards fall where they may. Thanks for listening, and goodbye. Okay, so I just got done with my dance class. And I do not like this lighting at all. Hold on. I don't know. Okay. I need my chips while I say this. So, on the topic of overthinking, I just came back from dance class, and dance is good because it allows you to get out of your head and to be in your body, sort of, right? But am I not going to be able to open this? These aren't regular kettle chips. These are sea salt and vinegar. I'm going to try it with this sauce. The sauce is good, but I'm just trying to learn the dance here. I'm fairly new to dancing. I didn't start dancing until September of 2025. So, and this is my first dance class. And so forgive me for trying to learn the dance. Because here's the thing. No, they're very nice. It's a very positive atmosphere. It really is. I really do enjoy them. But, it goes back to don't think. And it's I just learned this dance. I'm going to think. I need to build the confidence and the self-efficacy that I know what moves I have to do before I feel like I can sit back into it. And I want to, and I will be able to sit back into it. But it's just that initial of, just don't think about it. It's wow, it happens again, And to be honest with you, I do think that the answer a lot of times in life is to actually just not think and to just do it. But I think I'm just struggling with that. I don't know, because I'm a person that thinks a lot, and I think it can be really freeing when you're not thinking, and that's a good thing. But I guess I'm frustrated because I'm is it such a bad thing that I'm quite the thinker, that I do think a lot. And I do think that it honestly comes from your primitive brain being you have to think of all of these possible outcomes so that you are safe, so that you do not get eaten by a tiger tonight, or just stuff like that. There is a biological reason, I feel, as to why my mind is like this. Surely there has to be. And just the way now that it is adapted to modern life, now it's become maybe more maladaptive. When I eat this, I don't really taste the salt and vinegar. The sauce is more strong. I guess what I'm trying to say is, is I'm frustrated and I'm mixed because I think thinking, and sometimes thinking in depth about certain scenarios is okay because you have to plan. You have to have a structure. You have to have a plan. But does it get to a point where it is detrimental and or it's just not serving you and you could just be living your life like so much more with so much more freedom and just be so much freer in life? That too, yes. So I really think it's a balancing act, but I just hate that it's not a black and white answer. I don't know. Like that it's like, well, it just depends. It all goes back to, it just depends. It's all a balance, you know? I think I don't like that I overthink, and I don't like that people say that I overthink because maybe they're right, but I also don't like that people are judging me. I feel like they're judging me. And I guess I don't like to be judged, but it's like, welcome to the world. Everybody's gonna judge you. And so then it's like, what judgment do I listen to? What judgment do I resonate with and agree with and I think is correct? Because I guess at the end of the day, it's like, what do I think is correct? And I used to think like, let me absorb what other people are saying because they probably have a good point. Like, let me add that onto my structure. But then I think it just gets to a point where it's like, no, your thoughts are not your own. Other people are dictating how you should think for you. And no, I need to make up my own decision. And I might not be right. I might have a certain logic that is actually wrong, that other people might really heavily disagree with. And I can change over time. My thoughts can change over time. But it's just very unsettling following your own set of structure now. But I think that's what I need to do. Create my own dictionary, my own Bible, my own way to live by, ways to think, ways I think I should think, but knowing that can change. But other people are going to say things and they can have influence, but I think I really need to take my power back and be like, but this is what I think. And I actually disagree with you, and then let that sit there. But it's both. I'm frustrated that I overthink. I obviously understand, but I don't want my mind to like shackle me, and I want to live like the best possible life that I can ever live. And I want the same for everybody else. So how much of it is me limiting myself versus other people? Like, you don't want to blame other people all the time. Sometimes it is like, well, other people are going to exist and other people are going to say things that you're going to disagree with and you might not like and you're just not going to vibe with. But how does that dictate your life? It shouldn't, and it doesn't. So I'm going to keep dancing, and if they think that I overthink, whatever. I still want to learn how to dance, and I still want to become a good dancer as an example. And I'm going to do it right now the way that I know how and the way that method is working for me. If things change, I'm open to changing. I think I just need to step into who I am, even if who I am, other people are going to judge and disagree with harshly. I think that all goes back to the fear of being perceived. But it's like, again, welcome to the world. Everybody's going to perceive everybody. So whose perception matters the most? Yours, of yourself. But it's just tough. It's really tough because I'm very sensitive to the judgments of others. And in a way, I felt like that could be a good thing because it's collaboration. It's making sure that I am not being an a-hole, basically. Like, I want to be respectful of others. But then it came to the expense of myself and my thoughts and my, values and just development of that sense of self. So anyway, long story short, look, we're all trying in this world. I just need to try my best. And be good to others. Not that I wasn't, but I think that I back can be very judgmental. And it's just so much judgment in either receiving or giving in the head and in your mind. And I don't want to live with any sort of like negativity like that. I don't know what to think. I think that's what I come back to. It's like, well, then I just don't know what to think anymore. And I want people to like me. And that's what it comes down to. A lot of people, like a lot of these issues, I feel like when people lash out, it's like it's because they want to feel like, or they're feeling frustrated that people don't like them or love them. Like they feel unloved. Like that's part of it. You want to feel like, you are supported, loved, cared for, you can be held, like, and I think a lot of people in this world don't feel like they have that. And so it leads to all of these, all this angst. And I'm really trying to work through that angst. Even though I have a family who loves me, it's not that. It's just like, I don't know why. It's just tough. And is it that I don't love myself? Well, I do like myself. I do love myself. But I think that I'm still building that confidence within myself. And I want to get to the point where I am so unbothered, where I am able to like and love people, yet I am still unbothered in a way. Like it's that healthy detachment. But I don't understand how I can love another person in any type of love you can have, platonic, familial, romantic, or otherwise. How it is not an attachment. How can you love in a detached way? I don't know. How can you live in a detached way? Because that, I think, is also the answer to overthinking. You're detached, so you don't care. But what if it's something you do care? How are you still then yet detached? Thanks for listening. I just need to get this out because it was like hurting my brain, like the frustrating thoughts that I was having. And I'm like, you know what? I think people need to hear my angst if they want to. And listen, I know everything's going to be okay. I feel like I do have faith that everything's going to be okay and that I'm going to do the things that I want to do. Like, I am not giving up on the things that I want to do. Even if it's quiet now, like I intend to get these things, these ideas that I have and these visions that I have done. I want to get them done. But there's also work that I need to do on myself. But it's honestly like, how do I even start? How do I even get to that point? Where do I even go? There's therapy, but in a way that's another person telling me how to think. I really think it is. I need to figure out how I should think. But that's tough. It's like giving yourself permission in a world of like you are supposed to conform. And that's kind of what it comes down to. Conformity versus individuality and being okay with thinking how you think despite what others think. I used to be scared that adopting that way of thinking was just like narcissistic, and that so you never take input from another person if you really need to hear it. I don't think it's that black or white. I think if it resonates I think honestly, and some people are not going to like the answer to this, and that's fine. But I think a lot of it is guided by your own intuition, your gut, or your discernment, if you want to be fancy. It's like, make up your own thoughts, your own rule book, your own playbook in your mind. And if you come across something that maybe challenges it, it's like, well, are you willing to accept it or are you not? It's up to you. You have a fortress, but maybe you can add it in, or you utilize your fortress and don't let it in. This is helping because I don't like to journal. So yeah, I don't like to, even though I should journal. Okay, bye.